I'm sitting out in front of AP's house to confront him. I'm confronting my wife's affair partner today. I caught them and confronted her about the affair 3 months ago. She apologized profusely and told me she still wanted to be with me. I wanted to save our marriage, counseling, etc. We've been in couples and individual counseling. She's outwardly told me all the right things. She loves me and only me, wants to fix things, doesn't want a divorce, etc. She gave me access to her phone, but told me she doesn't want to catch me sneakily going through it. She swears up and down that she's on the straight and narrow to repairing our broken trust, except she is still seeing him. I found out and kept it to myself. I plan to serve her divorce papers tomorrow, but first, I'm going to confront her affair partner to see what other lies she's been telling me. I know they've talked on the phone a dozen times since I found out and told her she had to go no contact. She swears she hasn't been in contact with him, but the phone records don't lie. They text almost every day. She's obviously deleting them from her phone because I haven't seen them there. But she doesn't know deleting them on her phone doesn't delete them from her iPad. So at the moment, I'm sitting in a car outside of his house, waiting for him or his wife to leave for work. If he leaves, I'm going to follow him to where he works and confront him there. If she leaves first, I'm going to go knock on his door. So it's done. I'm an emotional mess. I knew that the community here at r/surviving infidelity would need an update, and I'm here to deliver. I'll start with last night. I got home from work, made dinner, and sat down to eat. My wife asked me how my day was. I replied, uneventful. That was the extent of it. We ate, played with the kids, and put them to bed like everything was normal. She and I sat down in our bedroom to watch TV, and she said nothing for like 2 hours. Finally, after our shows were over, she spoke. I'm going to bed. And that was it. No confrontation, no discussion, nothing. She went to bed, and I stayed up playing video games for another couple of hours before I went to bed myself. I slept like crap, and finally woke up at 5 a.m. The reason I wanted to serve her today was that we had a marriage counseling session over the lunch hour. I had already read our therapist in on what I intended to do, so when we sat down and started the session, I didn't wait. I talked to your affair partner yesterday. Yeah? I talked to him too. Yeah, I know. I don't get it. Why would you go talk to him? Because I needed answers to some questions I had, and you weren't being honest with me. Oh, yeah? Well, what did he tell you? Honey, he sold you down the river. What does that mean? He told me everything about what you guys have been doing, the sneaking around, the secret meetings, the lovey-dovey phone calls, everything. He told you? Yeah, everything. I then went on to list out all the details I already knew of, their texts, calls, meetings, dates, times, etc. She started to bawl. So it's clear to me that while you've been in here telling me one thing, your actions tell a completely different story. So I'm done. What do you mean you're done? I handed over the divorce papers. I want a divorce. She took the paperwork in her hands like it was a venomous snake and stared at it. She then looked to the therapist for help. How do I fix this? I don't want a divorce. I want you. I want our life. I want to stay. The therapist said, do you see where he's coming from? When your words and your actions are telling conflicting stories, you always believe the actions, not the words. Your actions have told him all he needs to know. How do we move forward from here without fighting, without vitriol, without dragging your children through the mud? The rest of the session was surprisingly cordial. There were a lot of tears on both sides. I expressed how betrayed and angry I am that she would continue this affair behind my back, thinking of me as the lovable idiot who would never know. She cried because her entire life as she knows it is ending. I told her I cut off her money supply, that she can use half of what we have to hire a divorce attorney. I told her she cannot live in our home anymore, that she will need to go stay with family or friends. I told her I was done and that there is no chance for reconciliation. She cried more. When we walked out of the appointment, she grabbed my hand and made another last-ditch effort to garner my forgiveness. I pulled my hand away and told her in no uncertain terms that I was done, and I did not want her in my life anymore. She fell to the ground, sobbing. I walked out the door and left her like that. As I drove away from the therapist's office, I called the affair partner's wife and left her a voicemail saying, "I really need to speak with you. Please call me ASAP." I then called my attorney and told her to file the paperwork, but to hold on unless things got ugly. My wife called and texted me several times after I left. I let them go to voicemail and haven't listened to them yet. I felt dead inside as I drove to her parents' house. Before I walked in, my phone rang. It was the affair partner's wife calling me back. He hadn't said anything to her. I told her I needed to meet with her in person and could I meet up with her in an hour. She said yes, and we set a place and time. I walked into her parents' house and told them everything. Her mom started to bawl immediately. Her dad sat there stone-faced. I told them that I love her and I tried to make it work, but that I refused to stand there while she continued to cheat on me behind my back. They were so totally shaken that it was hard to gauge their feelings. I told them that I wouldn't slander her or spread the truth around our friends and family, but that they needed to know the truth about why we were divorcing. I told them that I don't expect them to support me in all of this, and frankly, I want them to support her because she's going to need it. This all goes back to my kids. If she cannot afford a decent place to live, I don't want my kids living in squalor during the time they spend with her. Her parents can and will support her financially. I told them I loved them and that I would miss our relationship. Her dad and I shook hands, and I hugged her mom before I left. Then I drove to the meeting place to meet the affair partner's wife. I'm sitting in the car right now, waiting for her to show up. I plan to tell her, show her the video if need be, and let her make the decision on how to proceed from there. If she needs me to be a source of emotional support, I will offer that. No one should have to suffer through this alone. So that's been my day. I still have to meet with the affair partner's wife, pick up my kids from school, and change the locks on my house. I have a security system set up at home, so if she chooses to steal or damage anything, it will be on video. She knows that too, so I'm not too worried about it. More to come. Update 2. The affair partner's wife showed up to our meeting place. I could tell she knew something was up. As soon as I got out of the car, she tried playing it off, friendly-like, but I could tell she knew something was wrong. I told her, "I have something I need to tell you. It's not going to be fun or easy to hear, and I'm sorry that this is happening to you, to us. My wife and your husband have been having an affair." She started to sob immediately. I had to continue. "I found out about it 3 months ago." At that, her head snapped up and she had rage in her eyes. 3 months ago? Why the F are you just telling me now? So I had to explain how I found out, what I did when I confronted my soon-to-be ex-wife, and how we were going through marriage counseling to save our marriage. She listened, nodding, until I got to the part where I found out that they were still seeing each other. Then she started crying again. Look, I have to stop here for a second. I'm crying now as I write this. I feel awful just putting this out in the world, like I'm spreading someone else's misery around. She did nothing to deserve this. Truth be told, I feel absolutely horrible about telling her. She had no idea. She told me she was wondering why I called her and figured it was something bad about her husband. She had no idea that the affair was going on, that it was happening with my wife, that I had caught them, or that they had continued their relationship after being outed. Her entire world was crushed. Then I asked her if she wanted to see the video. She laughed, actually thought I had a sex video of the two of them, and at first was disgusted that I would even offer to show that to her. No, I responded. I met with your husband yesterday and confronted him about all of this, and he admitted to it. I have a video of our conversation. She thought about it for a moment and said she wanted to see it. I'd taken some time yesterday to edit the video down, since it was roughly 20 minutes of him hemming and hawing and lying or denying things. I'd edited a few choice pieces into a roughly 60-second clip, which I played for her. In it, he apologizes to me, tells me he screwed up, and shares a few more details about their ongoing relationship. She started crying again as soon as I hit play, and she saw his face. I stopped it and asked if she was sure. She was, and I let the video play out. At this point, there wasn't much more to say. I told her how sorry I was to be the person telling her. She thanked me for opening her eyes. I told her I knew exactly how she felt, because I was feeling the same things 3 months ago when I found out. I told her that if she needed to talk, vent, or scream obscenities, she could call me and I would be there for her. She thanked me, we hugged, and left it at that. I honestly don't know what she's going to do now, but I'm sure it won't be good news for her husband. I truly feel awful for her and for her children. I hopped in the car and headed home. My phone had been blowing up during our conversation. My soon-to-be ex-wife had been trying to reach me since I left her earlier today. I'd checked the security footage at home and she hadn't been home yet, so I headed home. When I got there, she was sitting in the driveway smoking. As soon as she saw my car, she started screaming, "You told my flipping parents, you low-life piece of crap." I hit record on my phone and stuck it in the front pocket of my shirt so I could get it all on video. "Yes, I did," I answered. "They deserve to know the truth about why we are divorcing." I didn't lie or make anything up. I told them the truth, and I told them they should love and support you through all of this. Took the wind right out of her sails. She went from rage to being a bawling mess in seconds. She kept apologizing, asking what she could do to fix things, telling me she never wanted any of this, etc. I listened, and when she finally ran out of things to say, I responded, "I told you everything I had to say at the therapist's office today. I have nothing more to say about this. I'll pick up the kids from school and feed them dinner. You're welcome to get some things, but you cannot stay here tonight. I suggest staying with your parents." At this, she got angry. "You can't keep me from my children." "No," I responded. "I don't intend to keep you from our children, but given the state you're in right now, I don't think it would be a good idea for them to see you like this. I'll tell them you want to stay with Grandma and Grandpa for a few days because Grandpa has been sick and Grandma needs some help around the house. They will understand that and they won't question it. But we need to decide how and when we are going to tell them about this, and it needs to be before the end of this week." She started sobbing again. My heart broke for her in that moment. I saw the woman I loved, the woman I married, the woman I pledged to spend my life with, raw and emotional and lost and hopeless. I hugged her and told her I was sorry that this was happening, but that this was the result of her decisions, and that I would no longer stand by and be married to a woman who would treat me like this. We stood there and embraced for a long time, her crying into my shoulder in that driveway. Finally, she pulled away and tried to kiss me. I pulled back and said, "That's not gonna happen." She broke down again, and I turned and walked into the house. I went into the kitchen and fixed myself a very stiff drink. After 20 minutes or so, I heard her come into the house. She quietly went to our bedroom, and I could hear her packing a bag. I stayed in the kitchen, and she found me there with her suitcase packed. "I hope you're happy," she told me. "I'm not happy at all," I responded. "I didn't want this. I wanted you. I wanted us. I wanted a wife who would love me and treat me with kindness, and instead I got this. So no, I'm not happy at all," she screamed at me. "Then why are you doing this? Why are you throwing away everything we have?" "I'm not," I responded. "You threw all this away when you went back to your affair partner. Now I'm just cleaning up the pieces." She screamed a few more choice obscenities at me, but I wouldn't rise to take her bait. When she realized I wasn't going to engage with her, she left, slamming the door so hard it knocked a picture frame off the wall in the back hallway. I heard her screech out of the driveway, and she left. I finished my drink and replayed the video of her screaming and cursing at me. If things get bad, I've got enough video evidence to keep myself protected legally. I picked up the kids after school and brought them home. I explained that Mom is going to be staying with Grandma and Grandpa for a few days. The kids were sad, but didn't ask questions. We played, ate dinner, and they got ready for bed. I haven't heard from my soon-to-be ex-wife, the affair partner, or the affair partner's wife in several hours. The house is going to be very quiet once the kids go to bed. And frankly, I miss it. Here with my bottle, I'll just pour myself a few more drinks before bed. Update 3. I've mentioned already that I talked to the affair partner's wife on Friday. She told me that she is not ready to end their marriage, that they are staying together and are going to try and make things work. They are in counseling. They have children together, and I don't begrudge her trying to save her marriage. I did the same thing when I was in her shoes. Their kids don't know. I wish them nothing but the best, and I hope they're able to work things out. She asked me not to contact her while they work on things, and I fully intend to respect her wishes. My wife and I had another therapy appointment on Friday, where we exclusively discussed how to tell the kids. She told me that she doesn't want to get divorced. She begged me over and over again not to go through with this. I told her that she made the decision for me when she went back to her affair partner after I told her not to. She told me that they hadn't slept together again after I found out, and that she didn't discuss the details of what she and I were going through with him. Lieutenant, when I confronted her with what I knew again, she broke down and told me she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she didn't think about the consequences, just that she needed someone to confide in, a fair partner, because she couldn't talk to anyone else about it. You know, like me, her husband, who she was supposed to be trying to work things out with. Even when I do consider forgiving her and giving it another shot, I just keep going back to the lies and deception. She just keeps digging her hole deeper, lying to me about sleeping with the affair partner again, lying to me about what she told him. It comes so naturally to her that I know I can never trust her again. The lies just roll off her tongue as if she believes they are the truth, and if I weren't so informed, I'd believe her. But I know better. So even in the moments where I want to embrace her, kiss her, and tell her everything will be okay, I remember her lies, and it keeps me focused on moving forward separately. Anyway, we told the kids Friday night. It was awful. They totally understand what is going on, and they are a mess. They are mad at her for having a boyfriend, and mad at me for leaving Mom. She really didn't want me to say that she had a boyfriend, but I was resolute on that part. The kids have their first therapy appointment on Friday. I have no idea how well that will go, but I'm hopeful they will get to start working out their emotions around the whole thing. Meanwhile, I'm trying to be firm as a disciplinarian while giving them the freedom to express their grief, anger, and confusion around what is happening to their world. It's a difficult balancing act. Yes, it's okay to be angry and yell and cry, No, it's not okay to destroy your toys because you're angry. Stuff like that. Soon-to-be ex-wife came back to the house Friday night, and for the time being we are cohabitating until we come up with a plan for who is moving out and when. We will have to sell the house. I can't afford to keep it and pay child support and pay alimony, regardless of how much that turns out to be. The housing market in our area is down right now, and no one is buying houses, so we agreed to wait until spring to put it on the market so we can get a better price for it. The next 4 months cannot go by quickly enough for me. It's also going to be a miserable Christmas. I can't even bring myself to put up decorations, as trying to celebrate something right now seems completely foreign to me. I'll do it. I want the kids to have as normal a Christmas as they possibly can. I just need to find the time and mental bandwidth to drag the tree out of storage and put it up. She's sleeping on the couch. As much as I want to be the bigger man on this and give her our bed, I can't bring myself to do it. I put a lock on the bedroom door and lock it in the morning before I leave the house so that she cannot get in there and mess with my things. For the moment, she's using the guest room and keeping some clothes in a suitcase. Call it petty, call it a dick move, call it whatever you want. She left me, and I'm going to sleep in my bed at night and let her suffer on the couch. So that's where we are at right now. The house is relatively peaceful. She's barely talking to me, much less screaming and throwing a fit. The few things we do discuss are kid-related and are brief and to the point. I'm sure there's more going on under the surface with her. There always is. But for now she's being amicable. Update 4 first. Just be assured that everything is still cordial, respectful, and genial. Tension ran high for the first week, but it's come down considerably as we all settle into our new normal. Frankly, it gives me hope that we can continue to settle things amicably, as we've generally been respectful to each other throughout all of this. Second, putting up the Christmas decorations was awesome. The kids had a blast. We played Christmas music, we put on Christmas movies, and we didn't take anything too seriously. Soon-to-be ex-wife got in on it too. Since she's still living in the house, I couldn't exactly keep her from helping. She oversaw the kids putting ornaments on the tree while I hung lights outside. We all had hot cocoa and watched Christmas Vacation. Third, the kids' therapy is going well. The first meeting was mostly paperwork and get-to-know-you stuff. The second session was better. They expressed sadness and uncertainty, told us they didn't want us to get divorced and didn't want to live in separate houses. Here's the fun part. Soon-to-be ex-wife started crying and said, "I don't want that either," painting me as the bad guy. The therapist called her out for being manipulative and told her to cut it out if we were going to have a good co-parenting relationship. That night she apologized to me for what was said in therapy. Outside of that, work is good, Christmas prep is coming along nicely. Oh, and I accidentally slept with my wife. It happened the night we put up the decorations. Eggnog, brandy, nostalgia. One thing led to another. It was great physically, but afterward I felt disgusted with myself. I told her it didn't change anything, that I still wanted a divorce, and that it couldn't happen again. Final update. My wife and I ultimately decided to stick it out. Yes, I know that will disappoint a lot of you. We are not back to 100%, nor do I know that we ever will be. But things are better. It took about 9 months of intense therapy, both individual and together, plus therapy for the kids. We both had to be willing to forgive and move on. She hasn't had any contact with the affair partner in over a year. We rebuilt by doing nightly check-ins, radical honesty, asking each other questions like when we first dated, and acts of service. I worked hard on letting go of obsessive thoughts about the affair. We made new friends, distanced from toxic ones, and found healthier social circles. By summer, we put the divorce on hold. By August, she moved back into our bedroom. Christmas, she told me she's sorry for everything and will keep working to rebuild my trust. I do love her, probably now more than ever, and I understand now how some couples can make it through this. Life isn't perfect, but it's better. We're still in therapy, still doing the work, and for now, we're together.